What's up, YouTube? I am Kendrick, and today we're going to take a look at Anthony Daniels' interview with Miss Crimson Cure. Why women are like children, they want the fantasy and don't know what men go through. I found the title to be interesting, so let's react to it. Before we get started, hit that like button if you like the content. Think about subscribing. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right.
And where are they getting it from? There's a reason why Basketball Wives and Love and Hip Hop and all of the derivatives of those shows, which started really with Flavor of Love, which was like the prototype of these reality shows. And Black women started trying to be like them because of the fantasy that's fed. These women who aren't really wives of anybody get to live this fabulous, wonderful, wealthy. This is where they get all of this. We got to take trips and we got to, I like traveling. Ain't never been out they state. Talking about they like traveling, going to the corner store, not traveling, beloved.
I'm gonna speak on this. I can say in the last probably 15 years of my life, 7 out of 10 women that I meet on the first dates, I need a man to take me out the country. We need to go at least 2 times a year and all that kind of crap. And it speaks to the title of the show. Have you even done a TripAdvisor thing? Do you know how much that costs? Like, I told you what I do for a living. I don't really tell women what I make, but you know what I'm saying? Where is that in my budget? Because I know you're not going to pay for it. And let alone, that is a conversation that people in steady relationships and marriages talk about, taking vacations together. Like, we haven't even established if we even like each other yet. And you're talking about trips during the summer out of the country. It's ridiculous, and I'm glad she's speaking on it because I've always wondered where this mindset even came from.
But that's where they get it from. They got to have a man that's balling. And he got to be able to take them on trips. What they don't understand is that men that are grinding like they don't have time.
Tell me about it.
To do that. If they take you on a trip, that is a business trip.
Tell me about it.
That when they get done making the deal, you might go to the dinner, and okay, baby, this last night we got in town. Let's go get a nice dinner. We on a flight tomorrow. We did not go to Venice to kick up a toe.
And another thing is, even if I do take the time off work, take my vacation time, what you're talking about is 2 plane tickets, probably over $1,000, especially if we're going out the country, that I'm going to have to pay for. So bottom line, I'm going to have to work a little bit harder, to offset and keep my budgets right. And also on top of that, have spending money, because the woman doesn't really want to pay for anything on that trip. And let's be honest about the trip. The trip is only to brag to their friends about what a man did for them, where a man took them, and basically take pictures for their dating profiles. Instagram is a dating profile. I don't care what anybody says. And also on top of that, if you look through Tinder, like right now, most women that you see on that site, their pictures are from being on vacations. It's exotic backgrounds, exotic balconies, and exotic cities and stuff like that. You literally have to ask them where they're from. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
And you are 1000% right. You are deadly accurate as far as describing what the lifestyle is. I'm not really sure that women know what. Do you think that women even know what they asking for?
Not at all.
Because they say the things, right? They say this.
It's not that they don't know. It's almost just say you broke if you broke attitude. If you can't afford me, then you know what I'm saying, I should move on. It's almost like a low key threat that the moment that you can't afford something I asked for, I'm leaving. I think a lot of men get that kind of vibe from modern day women.
Say this, I want this high value man, or I want the baller, or whatever, so on and so forth. What are they really asking for when they say that they want this lifestyle?
They want the fantasy that's been fed. This is why I was talking about the reality shows, because it actually feeds into that. Let's take a trip to Cabo. Let's take a spontaneous trip to Bora Bora. Let's take a spontaneous trip to Phuket. Let's go to Angola so we can have drama and we get Listen, so I can be on the beach. You can be on the beach. Listen, Chicago, it's the 31st Street Beach. It's the North Avenue Beach. Like, you can go to the beach. Like, we don't got to go out of the country to go to the beach. Like, we don't. But that's the fantasy. That's the fantasy fed. If you are with a man who is wealthy, he's supposed to have the time on his hands. I don't know how you thought he had that wealth.
You can forget it.
The time on his hands and the desire to go to all of these different trips because he has millions of dollars and he's got it. So he should do it. They have no understanding of the reality of that man, the reality of that man's life.
Me, narcissism, spoil me, treat me like this, look how he treats me. It's a whole lot of that. And it also ties into why I think a lot of women get these high degrees and incur these huge student loans and try to look for a rich man who can pay all the bills while they pay down that student loan. And let's be honest, if a woman is not paying the bills and she has a huge student loan and she isn't 100% trying to knock that down, you're dealing with an irresponsible woman that is going to drag you down eventually. I'm telling you. Watch how women spend their own money. That is a very good sign if she is an asset or a liability.
Has nothing to do with spending an exorbitant amount of money on you or taking you to these exotic places every 10 minutes. Now, they understand most of the time that family is number 3 and profession is number 8. So at some point, your family does come before your profession. It will.
Yeah.
But these kinds of men have to discern when that's the case. They don't neglect their families, but just men in general, not even so much high value men, but men who are about their business.
Yeah.
You're not the number one priority to your man, and you shouldn't be. I don't want a man that makes me his number one priority. Because if I'm his number one priority, where's his mission and his purpose?
Right.
Well, that's it. And if he not following his mission and his purpose, well, he got me following. Boy, if you don't get up out my face, knock that off.
I say that all the time, and people, I had a conversation with somebody, and I said that, the objective of a man, because I believe that your purpose is revealed to you through the work, right? Who it is that I am at 20 is different from who it is that I am at 30, 40, and 50, and so forth. And it's going to continue to evolve as I grow, as I work, as I grind, as I suffer, as I overcome, as I become the best version of myself at that particular time based off of my circumstances and the quality of life that I've afforded for myself and the goals in which I set before myself and that I continue to bust through based off of the milestones, and the smaller caveats that we then put the carrot in front of our face that incentivizes us to continue to go and continue to grow, right? And so when I tell people that your purpose is revealed to you, but more importantly, that a man should focus on his purpose and that he can't prioritize a woman and she being the primary reason behind why it is that he's doing what he's doing, I get a lot of pushback from people. And I don't really know if it's pushback due to a lack of understanding or due to a desire to pedestalize people and place the priority as a woman. It seems as though today women have become the number one priority, or at least that's what is being advocated for. That's what's being thrown into our face.
I want to speak on that a little bit too. Like, I used to pedestalize women, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is going to be my wife and I got to do this. And it actually motivated me to do a lot of things. Like, the degree that I have and the job that I have right now, that is because I met a woman and I wanted to marry her and I wanted this house of my dreams and all that other kind of stuff. And she was my motivation. So in some ways, it's a good thing to, you know what I'm saying, do that, but it shouldn't be she's first. Like, when I got in school, and I think that's kind of the reason that we broke up, is because she was messing me up in school with her wants and needs, but I kept going, and I just had to let her go. So I believe he's trying to say, make the money first, accomplish your goals. Women will come later, because the more money you make, the more women will come.
Why do you think that women always want to be first, even above the thing that then afford for them to even be able to go and do the things that they do on a regular basis? I had a woman tell me that I can't talk to a guy that would be a good guy and that has a lot of resources if he can't allocate a significant amount of time for me. I will leave that guy and I will move on. Why do you think that that's the narrative?
Because women, and this is all women, not just modern women, or as I call them, hyenas. All women are naturally selfish. That is part of our nature. We can't help it. We gonna be selfish. We gotta be selfish. It's the counterbalance to the selflessness of men.
Yep.
With that being said,
I don't agree with the counterbalance thing. Like, it shouldn't be a balance. Men are selfless. Women should be a little bit selfless. Actually, I don't agree with the selfishness in any kind of way. It's like ungodly to me. That's narcissism. If it's women's nature, then there's nothing that we can really do about it. But at the same time, when I see it, it disgusts me in my soul, because it leads to a lot of things like being unaccountable, unapologetic, irresponsible, and just plain out just, yuck, man, for real.
I think today the problem is the selfishness is unfettered. It's out of control. There's no order brought to it or structure where the selfishness can be contained.
Women cannot handle the emotions of shame, guilt, and embarrassment in any kind of way. If you combine that with what she's saying, like, you can't hold them responsible for anything. You can't even tell them that they should be ashamed for the way that they're acting, even if they're acting ungodly, just wrong, just mean or whatever, because you're a man. You can't say I'm doing anything wrong because men are wrong. You know, it's a society has got to the point where it's just like women can really feel like they're goddesses and be validated on it. It's really ugly out here.
So we got this unbridled amount of self-absorbency and self-entitlement and all the other aspects of selfishness. Along with that, you don't have a good understanding of how the world works. It really is like a child sees the world. Because when a child looks at their parents, they don't understand the inner workings of how their parents are able to afford the home and how their parents are able to afford the car to drop them back off to school or extracurricular activities or give them an allowance or whatever. They don't get the actual inner workings. They just want it done. They just want it done. I just want to be able to get up in the morning and eat breakfast while we ain't got no food. Like, I just want to be able to go get, like, school clothes while we can't go. That is how children think. And unfortunately, a lot of women nowadays think in that same strain.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of women just tell me because they want something. As a man, I'm just supposed to do it. And these would be the same women that claim this independence. Well, I got a good job and all this other kind of stuff, but it's like, why don't you do it then? You're making me feel like I don't have somebody that I can rely on. And I personally need that because I've had friends like get abandoned by their wives when they caught cancer.
All right, 53 years old, you can pick him. Great, why'd y'all divorce?
My husband got sick with cancer, and that changed him, and it changed the dynamics of our marriage.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Talking about I didn't sign up for this. I signed up for a man who could do this for me and do that for me. If he can't, then oh well. Just total abandonment. It's happening out here, fellas. Watch your woman's movements. Because, hey, you never know what's going to happen later on when you need her.
I just want it done.
All right, that is the video. I agree with a lot of things that she said, and some of the things Anthony Daniels said, it was like I was kind of on the fence. I knew where he was going. It's like he's right, but there's a but in it. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe for more, and until the next time, peace, and try to be happy.